All right, in the last 2 minutes I have with you, I'll give you the floor, your impressions of the first result of Week 3, Jets and Patriots. Tom, what is that?
Well, I think realistically, this is probably what the Patriots are. You go back to week 1 and they beat the Bengals. That was a Bengals team that was in a disarray that week. They didn't know until game day, is Jamar Chase playing? Is he not? They designed the game plan thinking they had T. Higgins, and then he gets hurt on the Thursday, and then suddenly you don't have him on the field either. It's not excuses. Everybody's got injuries, but that was probably not the best shot that the Bengals had. Plus, they're facing a new coaching staff with new schemes and things. That was a strange game. Good for the Patriots that they won that game. But last night, you kind of saw, these are the shortcomings of the team. I heard you talking with Brockman before I came on about, why Drake May is on the field. I had some of the same thoughts. Although, low leverage situation there, you're probably calling plays where he's not going to find himself in too much harm's way. But Jacoby Brissett, go back through Jacoby's career. He's had a long career because he's well liked in the locker room, because he's a tough dude and a smart dude, but he's never been a winning quarterback in the NFL. Even a couple of years ago when he got his opportunity in Cleveland, and he drew rave reviews for just giving them a chance before, when they didn't have Deshaun Watson on the field. They won 4 games. He went 4-7 as the starter that season, and the shortcoming for Jacoby Brissett, going back to even his starting days in Indianapolis, was he'll see it. He's smart enough to see it. He doesn't always pull the trigger. And last night he threw for 90-something yards in the game. He's thrown for like 360 over 3 games here. He's never going to be a cut it loose and let guys go make the plays down the field style of quarterback. Drake May ultimately is going to be that guy. I thought what Gerard Mayo said today was fair, which was, and Alex Van Pelt reiterated this, which was, Jacoby showed grit and toughness, and Drake probably benefits more from being the number 2 quarterback at this point. On the Jets side of things, and Rich, I'm sure that you enjoyed last night as much as you have any primetime Jets game in about the past decade here. This was, this reminded me, and I know it's an easy comparison because they were together in Green Bay, but this reminded me of Brett Favre in 2009, where the first 2 games of that season, this was after he had gone to the Jets and suffered a season-ending injury, or he played, but he had a biceps injury that really kind of shut him down. He didn't play the same after the thrilling Week 1 game against the Chad Pennington Dolphins. In 2009, he came in, and the Vikings actually won their first 2 games, but it wasn't like light him up. Favre was efficient. They were on the road, but it was a lot of just hand the ball off to Adrian Peterson, and that was kind of the style that they played. Week 3, they played the 49ers, and that was the Greg Lewis game where Favre had to go punch for punch, and that was a 49ers team that entered 2-0, and he throws to Greg Lewis in the back of the end zone, and you kind of went like, oh, like this might be a real thing in Minnesota. The Jets last night weren't facing that caliber of an opponent, but you've watched Rodgers. I almost just called him Favre, and you kind of went like, oh, maybe this is he channels it for one more season here after not wanting to go out the way that he did last year. Maybe he's got it. I mean, that end zone view of the social media person shooting it on an iPhone in the corner of the end zone where the ball's coming right into Garrett Wilson. I mean, that's old school Rodgers. He doesn't look like he moves quite the same way. He is certainly not going to scramble, especially after he took that hit when he didn't quite get out of bounds and got smacked a little bit there. But he's so smart. He sees it. He still has one of the quickest releases in the NFL, and then he can make those types of throws. A big thing for that Jets team is going to be belief and confidence, and that's kind of what waned last year. Even though they started out 3-3, they weren't dead and buried, but you didn't have that level of confidence when Zach Wilson was in there. When Rodgers plays like that, and when you've got the city behind you that, as everybody knows, can be a tough fan market, it can be a tough media market, all of a sudden you got some positivity surrounding the New York Jets. This is what we've been waiting for. Is it going to be as special as that 2009 Viking season was, right up until Favre, instead of settling for a 50-plus yard field goal, threw across his body to Tracy Porter in the NFC Championship game? We'll find out, but it was fun to watch last night, and I think it's going to be really fun to watch the rest of the season.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.